Alright, I did it again. I'm going to keep saying it, I'm drowning in too much stuff. I just can't pass up the deals. So I went to the old salvage sales. I did get a bunch of other stuff this week. I got the chick who quit frame building a while ago and sold me her alignment table a few months ago. She decided to have a garage sale. I reached out to her. She was trying to sell me a drill press for way more than I wanted to pay, but she paid too much for it new. I reached out to her. I'm like, hey, I'm kind of interested again. Now I got a shop space. I was looking for drill presses on the old interwebs and stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm having a garage sale. I'm getting rid of a bunch of stuff. So I went out to her house and I bought a bunch of stuff. I got her drill press. I bought her torches. I texted my buddy who's got my torches in storage, who I haven't talked to in like 4 or 5 years. He has not gotten back to me. That is probably not a good sign. As in they're damaged or broken or lost or sold, or he thinks that he bought them instead of just storing them from me, or he's just forgotten, or who knows. Maybe I'll get those back someday, maybe I won't. So I bought her torches. It's a smaller little tank setup. It's got a little rolly cart. It's got the super expensive ultralight like Kevlar hosing and the little teeny tiny super lightweight aluminum wand instead of like the big giant brass one that's all heavy. So it's kind of fun. It might be more fun, more easy to do, lots of brazing. I got a weird old dummy tool cart for free. I got a bunch more stuff from her. I picked up some of it Saturday and then went back Sunday and got the rest. The other way around, I picked up some Friday, went back Saturday and got the rest. Yeah, because today's Sunday. Nah. But her little drill press has a little XY vise, which is always fun. Her drill press like cranks to rotate the table up. My old one I have to like lift to like bench press up. It's got all sorts of rotating knobs and dial. Like it's really way cooler and handier, and it's new. And it should last forever. But I got little tie downs for it for vices and stuff. Like weird little bolts. I got like $100 worth of brand new bottles of Park cutting fluid. I got a Park hacksaw from her. It looks pretty nice and I-beamy. Got an old Velo orange rack. I got her extra stand. She had 4 brand new sets of 700 by 28 tires. $20 for all those. I ended up giving her 8 on Friday and then another 3 on Saturday. So I gave her $1,100 for all this stuff. She still has her anvil jig and base and a bunch of tubes, but she just wants too much. I don't have the money or the room yet. And she's moving to Bend, I think. So I got all that stuff. And I bought some shelves. I bought some stuff for the shop. I'm getting stuff. Getting stuff put in there. The girls are cleaning out slowly but surely. They're freaking out, realizing how much space they're giving up. I'm volunteering to help and do stuff, so hopefully we can make it work out. They want to keep a bunch of the shop space now. I'm like, that's not what we talked about. Already moving in. I'm like, you have all this extra storage space in the attic thing. And they're like, I don't want to go up the ladder. I'm like, I'll go up the ladder for you 100 times. I'll help you to make it actually functional in more room. Help you sell this stuff. Like, oh, we paid money for that. No one wants it. I'm like, well, let's give it away. Take it as a loss. Like, no, we paid money. I'm like, well, let's sell it. Nobody wants it. Like, well, you can't store it in my space now. We'll see. We'll figure it out. We're to the salvage sale. There was one of these truing stands, these 2 truing stands forever. They kept saying they weren't going to get rid of them. Of course, we're going to get rid of them. The one I originally saw somebody else grab before me, but then he's like, hey, I saw another one in the back of the truck, so I'm going to grab this one in the back of the truck. So extra truing stand, especially if I want to be doing some classes and stuff, I'm going to want at least 2 truing stands. It's probably old and beat up, that's why I didn't want to save it, because it's rusty. It's probably not centered. There's a centering tool. I've never used it. I sold mine. Maybe I'll grab one again someday. I have never used these the way they're supposed to be used. I clamp a bike in, I isolate one side with the spoke, so I'm only working off one side, and I flip it over and true and flip it over and true, and I use a wheel dishing gauge to make sure it's dished. I think most guys set these up all correctly, so it dishes for you while you true, and you can true up both sides. I've always just found that confusing and annoying. I really like working off one side, so I can really pay attention to what I'm doing and do the same every time. So whatever. They did get the frame building stuff out. There's all the stuff that was donated. My big eBay seller I got a bunch of free stuff from too. They had a bunch of sets of these tubes and these tubes. These tubes are labeled ORIA. I was like, I'm not really interested, man. I've never heard of this stuff. It's all for like road bikes, and I build rando bikes. I'm like, so why don't you sell me 1 tube set, and I'll go play with them and see if they're any good, and I'll come buy the rest. And I'm like, and he was like being weird. He wanted to take them all. I thought they were worth money. I'm like, I don't really care. So at the end, he's like, really, you don't want them? I'm like, no. It's like, why don't you take a set for free then? and play with them. Like, that's what I said. But so I got some sets of tubes, and we might as well look at them for fun. What does this say? This has Sharpie marks on it. Shruel D2B Carbraza Nazuzaku. Box 101. I don't know. But a fork crown just fell out. I'm really afraid that this is all just going to be like cheap stuff or weird stuff. It looks like decent tubes. And I'm afraid that it's going to be, dinged up from sitting around these cardboard boxes for 20 years. Oh, there is a lot better stuff in here than I thought already. Already, I'm way more excited about these tube sets. I don't want to build any old road bikes, but I might build some old track bikes. So there is a semi-sloping crown. I got a few of these. There's piles and piles of these. I got a big bag of them from them last time with several of these in there. So a semi-sloping crown. There is a bunch of old-style campy bridges and brazons and stiffeners and cable routing guides and down tube shift bosses. Front derailleur brazon. So cable stops. So this is like everything you need to build a frame. Here is a rear recessed nut bridge and a set of campy dropouts. This is way more interesting now. Now I do one of these tube sets. So these are the long campy dropout with no eyelet, front campy dropouts. I guess we should pull them out and look. I thought they were just weird tubes. I thought this stuff was all supposed to be Columbus tubes. All the stickers on the bikes were Columbus tubes. Maybe this came from a different thing. But I have no idea. Brev, Campagnolo, long dropouts for vintage 70 style road bikes. And little matching fronts, and they have little Brev campy stamped in them and stuff. Alright, so this is cool. This is cool. I'd probably still just use these for a track bike. Little bridge with a little recessed nut machined in. A little lug set, just cheapo stamped steel lugs. They're real nice long points though. That's pretty fun. People call these can opener lugs because you get your heat affected zone from brazing all the lugs on, and then you have these long points and you get in a little frontal. These things can act like a can opener in theory and cause your bike to frontal. That might be true, but I've seen a lot of Philip Braze bikes and a lot of bikes with short lugs, and they frontal just fine on their own. These usually don't have a very sharp angle. In here, the two tubes meet, so there's like a big gap. So you really have to pump these things. They're really probably made for brass. You have to pump these things. They're always in silver. Pump them full of filler because you don't want a big air pocket or flux pocket in there to just rust out. I know guys have done that. So when I was doing practicing with these lugs, you'd hacksaw them up and see like, oh, there's a giant gap in here. Just like pump them and pump them and pump them until it starts blobbing everywhere. Then you can heat it up and sort of pull those blobs out. So you know you have enough in there. So this is cool. This little top one's got like a little window. Will I use these? I don't know. Old steel lugs are really a lot of work, especially the seat lug. They don't have cool points where you want them to. This like blow molded seat binder on every vintage bike in the world is all stretched out and pinched. So the trick you usually do is drill through these and put a big piece of 3/8 chromoly or like rack tubing in here. Because then a seat binder bolt will still fit inside that rack tubing, and you can put that in and fill them full of brass. And then cut the slot real big. And that usually can save these nice old sheet metal lugs. Stamped steel. See, it's like a one piece and stamped into shape and cut, and then they wrap it on the back and it's got two little spot welds. And they machine the inside. So there's a lot of work going into these. Okay, so this is pretty cool. This is a 1-inch threaded steer tube. So this is for your fork. This goes into your crown, gets all brazed in. All this stuff needs a ton of cleanup work. Got rough edges, nothing fits. And it's got some writing on it, and I want to know what it says. Reynolds 531 butted. 17.2. Is just this steer tube Reynolds? Is all of this stuff Reynolds 531? And just the packaging says Orozo? Holy crap, I need, if this is all 531 with campy dropouts, I want to buy every single one of these tube sets. Looking for this, says 340 on it. This is either a down tube or a seat tube. This is also either a down tube or a seat tube. Usually the down tube or the seat tube is very thin on one end for your 27-2 seat post. This looks both thicker and heavier, so I think this is the down tube. This is the seat tube. Seat tubes on these, I think, are usually 8.5, so the thicker part's going to be like 0.8 of a millimeter, and the thinner part of the seat post goes is like 0.5 of a millimeter. And that should be for a 27-2 seat post. Whoa! Here's your 1-inch top tube. And these tubes look very long to me. The steer is not very long, so this might be for a smaller bike. When you buy tubes individually, generically, modernly, they're pretty long with really long butts. When you buy them for kits, they're sometimes sized. So they're really made for the size or two bikes you're going to build with really short butts to cut. 137, so here's a nice seat stay. It is tapered on one end and not the other, so it's not the Reynolds pencil stays, but it's alright, it's still really small. This is like a 12 or 13 millimeter or something. Here's a short little head tube, goes inside those lugs. After it's all braided up, you machine it out to put your headset in. Set of oval chain, nope, this one's a fork blade for sure. So this is a set of round oval round chain stays. So they're round, where they plug into your bottom bracket shell, and they get oval, where the tire is, the narrowest, tightest part, and they go back to round by the end for your dropouts. So it's round oval round stays. Here's a set of fork blades. You can tell the difference because they're oval to round. They're a little thicker and heavier duty down here, and they stay oval the whole time, and they don't have like this super pinchy in the ovalness. They're like a very even oval the whole way. So nice little set of fork blades, a fork crown, chain stays. So this is enough stuff to build the whole bike. There's no bottom bracket shell in this kit. There's everything else. This thing had cases of bottom bracket shells. They're all Italian, which is funny. It's Reynolds tubes. I thought Reynolds was English. I also know they made metric for France. I should measure these to see if they're English or metric. Metric tubes are different sized. I think the top tubes on English bikes are 25.4 or 1 inch. On metric bikes, I believe they're 25. So very slightly different. And then the seat tubes on metric bikes, I believe, are 26. Or on standard bikes are 26.8. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. But this is a nice set. I really want to look at these tubes. They've been sitting in this cardboard for 40 years. I want to make sure they're not dinged up or bashed up or beat up. So hopefully there'll be some other marks on them. But that steer tube being marked is pretty danged hot. Pretty danged hot. Reynolds 531 steer tubes. Baby. Room for your headset. Room to go through fork crown. So this is probably for like a 55 centimeter frame. So that's interesting. Box 101. So this is a way cooler kit than I thought. I'm excited. These tubes might be light and nice. I am suddenly into them. I was thinking for my rando bike I wouldn't be able to use most of them, but I could use all of them probably. I probably wouldn't use the fork blades because I want the long taper fork blades. So the fork blades I'm using are these Columbus blades that all this big taper, there's a lot less of it, and this long skinny part is a lot more of that, so I can do a real Frenchy J-bend. So I'm using those, and then I also don't use the round oval round stays, and a lot of these stays are too short for rando. I don't like the round. I need a special bottom bracket shell for the oval stays. I use a special bottom bracket shell I found where the stays go into it a little farther out and are a little teeny bit angled, and I dimple the shit out of them to like punch in a dimple in the metal to clear the fat tire and fender. But I might be able to use these down tubes. There's a thing called a butt gauge checker. I don't have one. Maybe I should get one. But I might be able to clean this up, this edge. You know, it's got a little burr around it gently with a file, and be able to get in here with my calipers and measure that and get a fairly accurate reading. If these are, this feels heavy. If these are 9.6 tubes, little less interesting, a little more fun for junk bikes, student bikes, commuter bikes. They're 8.5 and they're a lot hotter for building rando bikes. A lot of rando bikes are built with 7.4 tubes, and that gets sketchy. You start digging them really easy and denting them and stuff. Okay, this is a cool set. Now, do you think I can get it all back in here? Whoa! Okay. got his lugs, dropout stuff. It's cool. Oh, the steer tube. I can't get it back in. All right, let's check out this set. So he said these were like mountain tubes. What's that even mean? Probably thicker and heavier duty. And oversized. So it's definitely single oversized. I think this is a down tube. This is probably a top tube. And this might be the seat tube. Yeah, it feels thinner on this side. This is probably the head tube. This is probably the steer tube. So 1-inch threaded steer tube again. It's oily. It is not marked Reynolds 531 or anything. It's just generic. These things never come with a file slotted in them, which is the worst, and someday I have to find a real machinist and buy like 50 of these at once and have them all slotted. I hand file all my slots. It's a nightmare. It's a little messy. They only look good for the first inch or two, and they look all scratch marked everywhere from my file going everywhere. But you know, like, whatevs, man. Looking for any markings on these guys at all. Here is a set of chainstays. They're a little bit thicker. They're real pencily at the bottom still. It's nice. I'm interested. Here is a set of chainstays. They are round, oval round. They have a dimple in them like an 80s mountain bike. So you get a little more space. It's kind of cool. Kind of cool. I'm not opposed to them. I don't know if I'd use this stuff. And these guys, I think, are pre-bent, pre-mitered fork blades. Instead of going into a crown, they just braze straight onto the steer tube. Like a uni crown. There's a set of them. There's nothing else in here. It's a little interesting. The miter on these is the hardest part, so having to be pre-mitered is kind of cool. And you just gotta set them at the right angle and braze them on. So that's a medium wide. I mean, this would probably be actually way better for like a cyclocross or like a gravel bike. These blades are pretty beefcake. I don't know if they're beefcake enough for disc brakes. I'm gonna say no, but pretty beefcake. Could always try it and see if we unbend a fork. So this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. I don't know if I'd use them. I mean, maybe. No one really cares about unit crowns when I'm doing some gravel bikes or something. Like, it's kind of cool. And then you have to braze on another ring that sits down here. It's machined out for your crown race. So alright, some mountain, or probably really more of like an ATB gravelly bike kind of thing. These are cool. There is one other chick they know at the CCC named Beth, who's kind of like an amateur frame builder, I think. And Beth might be interested in some of these tubes. I am guessing would be way more interested in these gravelly bike tubes than in the old Village Road racy tubes, but not 100% sure. But I might buy a few sets of these. Little loosey-gooseys. I might get a few sets of these. I might buy all these road tubes. Get back in this plastic. This plastic says Arosa all over it too. It's got some words. I'm going to have to peel this apart and see if I can read it, if it means anything. It's trying to tell me anything. It's probably all in Italian. I also got this little box. I dug through the other boxes of stuff and pulled this, and I got a few more track crowns. Let's dump it all out. Oh, maybe the rest fell out. Yeah, they are all over. Oh boy. Okay. Well, let's look what I got in here. So I think I already got a few of these crowns, but this one's not rusty at all. It's a little semi-sloping. It might be the one that comes in here. Crown. I got one of these. I've never used one before. It's a an internal sleeve, so the fork blade slides over the outside, so it fits all perfectly flush once it's brazed on, instead of like being inside this lug socket. I don't know, it's cool. I grabbed one. It might make a cool track fork. Here's another one. It's like a machine, very heavy cast piece. Fucking heavy, bro. It's like half the weight. It's like half the weight. Heavy. Heavy. This is a round bladed track fork. They had a box of round blades. I grabbed one set, but I think modern round blades are bigger than these old vintagey ones. These are like probably like 50s or 60s ones. I used to have a narrow track crown. I held on forever trying to find these round blades. I ordered a couple of different sizes of vintage round blades, and they're always too small or too big. So there was no real standards back in the day. Each country or builder made their own standards. But I got this one set. They're cool. Maybe I'll use them on something someday. I don't know. I grabbed one Cinelli bottom bracket shell. It's Italian thread. I'll never use it. I'll never build it. It says Cinelli. It says SC France on it. What the hell does that mean? Is it not Italian? Is it French threaded? That'd be amazing and really bizarre. But it says Cinelli right on the bottom. I guess I'll have to explore more. And you put your 28.6 down tube into it and your 28.6 seat tube. I like to stick this in the jig with the seat tube and do the seat tube first, whether Philip brazing or anything. Get it on there, get it brazed in, put it on the alignment table, make sure everything's square and nice, face this guy for the alignment table, and have that be the start of my bike. I call it like a hockey puck. It's the bottom bracket shell and the seat tube. And then I miter the top tube and make sure everything's level, and then I get the head tube all set up with the top tube and the jig, and then I cut and miter this down tube, because for some reason, no matter what math I try, no matter what I try and do, I cannot make a down tube to fit the way I think it should on paper ever. They're always like a half a centimeter longer or shorter or something. They're always different. So I really hand carefully miter the down tube at the last second to go in and fit. Lugs are kind of nice because they're hollow in these sockets, so you get the tube in. If the tube's too tight, I can sink it down into the slug and get the head tube and everything all set up, and slide it back up a little bit into place before I braze it. Or the Philip braze bottom bracket shell, they're just a hollow or just like a round threaded piece of tube. They have no sockets or holes. So you got to get that stuff mitered perfectly. It's sitting there. So it has to be able to fit into the jig and slip in. They're a big giant pain. So I got that, and then this was the only little box of individual braze-ons and things I saw. There's a few things floating around. Here's a set of the old stock GPME or GPME. I think it was GPME. Rear dropouts. GPME, so they're like an Italian competitor with Camping Yellows, like GPME and Omos and stuff. There's like kind of cheaper versions of campy stuff. But totally cool and nice on their own. Nice little short road dropouts. I'll never use them. This is cool. It bubble packs of new old stock campy dropouts. So I think one side's all left, one side's all rights. Bubble pack. I think I got 2 of those. What else did we get? Here's a new old stock set of GPME vertical dropouts. They're probably semi-horizontal. Is there an already open one? Here's a cool Shimano EF. Little short dropouts. Oh. Shimano EF. That no eyelets. Got room for adjuster screws. Old road stuff. Not desirable. Here's another of the round track crowns. Now, I mean, these modern track crowns like this, they're like $18, new from Frailer Supply. They're not super valuable, but, have them thrown in here for a couple bucks a piece is way better than $18. I think I built 1 or 2 track crowns into a bike ever. Like, no one had me build them custom track bikes. It was all rando, and some touring and some commuter-y things are all rando style. But I got it. I do have that big new old stock Bertoni track frame I got, 62.5. I was thinking I was making a fork for it. Might be a good first project to get back on the saddle and stuff. Remember how to make all this stuff. They did have a couple of chrome forks for them, but they only had 1 or 2, and somebody else is trying to buy it hard, so they're going to want more money for that chrome fork than it would cost me to buy all the materials to make this, and I need the practice, so I'll probably just make it one. Here's another one of those long point lug sets, probably fell out of one of those boxes. Here's a real dirty, rusty set. I can't read. I think it was a GPME, like, sort of shorts. This is cool. So this is one set of new old stock. Henry, this doesn't look right. Someone cut this out. Henry James plug style dropout. Someone cut the plug out. Just one of them. See the plug? No plug. And it looked like this one might have been tweaked or mangled in a vise. Probably holding it to cut that plug out. Why they need that plug more than they need the whole dropout, I don't know. Are these even a matching set? They look like two different eras or years. They're definitely different angles. So here's some random mismatched made in the USA Henry James dropouts. Henry James also went out of business shortly before COVID. Henry James and Waterford. Henry James had all the True Temper tubes. One little set of vintage like campy axle adjuster screws and springs. I got two, it's in here somewhere, two vintage campy long dropouts, just the drive sides. This will be great if I do the school, getting people to learn how to do miters and brazing. Here's some of the GPME like semi-vertical little rear dropouts. Very cool. There's a matching pair. What is this? Another set of GPMEs, front and rears. The other campy. Here's a GPME set of front dropouts. Another GPME set. Another GPME set. I really grabbed this thing. You know, it's got lots of dropouts that I'll probably never use and no one will ever use. No one really cares. Lots of fronts. It's got one hard mount stud for a Diacomp. Second hard mount stud for a Diacomp. But I believe it's got a full set of vintage Mayfac canties. I believe, oh, there's 3 Diacomps, but not 4. One random Candy Boss. So that's just a random cheap. I think these ones that say R and F on, that's just a random cheapy copy. R, AV, random cheapy, AV. So 2 AVs and 2 Rs. R, AV, AV. I think these are the old Mayfac. I think, I could be wrong. I think. Old Mayfac cantilever posts. I think I want these. I think I'm going to... These the AV ones are. I think I'm going to braze these onto... I was looking for a set of these. I think I'm going to braze these onto the 1960 Allegro. Because I'm going to put some old crusty, canty Mayfac brakes on there. So I kind of wanted the correct posts. I could get away with using a regular modern ugly post, but they're not the same. I want those on there. I want to braze them on. Wreck that paint a little bit. It doesn't really matter. The paint's so old and shitty, and definitely repaint. And that way I can make it 650B. Some other GPME dropouts, some campy fronts, and one cool domed track rear brake bridge. Instead of having a brake bridge, it's this little domed tube with no holes at all for a brake. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. GPME, Columbus behind. Who knows how much other stuff there was. It's a good start. This was just sitting in their trash can, just like their regular shop trash. It's an old Bike and Hike water bottle. I don't know, I used to live right next door to Bike and Hike for years. It's cool. I grabbed it. Saved it from the trash. I looked at this park stand. And then, this is my actual bag of scores from that out. This is mostly out of their recycling and trash. I dug a ton out today. They had a whole bunch of these new old stock Chinelli Aero bars. They also had the pads for them, but a lot less. So they didn't have those out on the floor. You really thought that these are just going to be good for recycling because they're aluminum. I'm like, oh, you're destroying all this nice old stuff. You got to try and sell it at least a little bit at first. So I grabbed just one. He had like 50. I grabbed one. I left this for other kids, but no one else grabbed it. I know some kids needed these. There was 2 of them, so someone grabbed one of them. So I grabbed this other one. It appears to be totally unmarked, just generic. This is for knocking headset cups out of 1-inch frames. I got one that I paid real money for, but I don't care. This was in the back of the truck in the trash bin. It is a brand new set of power straps. My old business partner was in love with these. I grab them from all the time when I could find them. But they're like, before you had the double strap on the BMX pedal, you had the toe clips. This is like a halfway in between. So this is for like toe cage style pedals. But it goes from the front of one pedal side to the back of the other pedal side. And you kick your foot in, and then when you straighten your foot out, it cinches it up tight. These are cool. Communities used to love those. I could not grab them. Got a shoulder strap out of the free bin. I don't know why. There's a bunch of new old stock pumps there. I only grabbed a couple. This is a old black Zafal. It's got Celeste campy pump head on it. The weird screw I've never seen before. Someone might think this is really cool for their old Bianchi or something. Got a bunch of Silca ones. I didn't really care. This is a cool one. So this is a song. I can't, bro. Uniblock. So it is an old, all aluminum, silver pump. It has this tiny little thread-in French head. This other one's missing it, but I found this head in the junk bin. And on this side, it's got a hose that pulls out. And I guess, I don't know. Maybe that thread's in here to convert it to Schrader valve, and this is for Presta. It's got a little leather washer on it. It's spring-loaded. I don't know how to put this head against the frame without damaging it, but it's got this machined-in thing. Maybe we could make a little cradle. Spring-load this on the old French bikes. I have one customer who wants a cool old pump. I want a cool old pump, but I'm going to have to save them both for me to have a pump and a backup. Maybe I'll save it for him. I don't know. Single mismatched brand new vintage Raleigh leather toe strap. How do you not grab that? Got a bunch of tools. Wrench Force. Tools engineered by Snap-on. So dumb. But it's a little bit of a thicker headset wrench. It's got a 32 and a 30. When do you ever see 30s? Never, but 32 is super common. It's a little thicker. Got a zillion of them. I grabbed one. I was at the bins the other day and I had some of these and I did not grab them. I sort of regretted it. So I had them here, so I grabbed them. They're a pulley leverage system with hooks, so you can hang your bike from the rafters. My new shop has insanely tall ceilings. I might set these up if I can get a ladder on there tall enough to get up high enough to do it. Or maybe I'll build shelves coming off as high as I can. You know, like a 2x4 up and out. A shelf bracket, basically. So I can get some bikes or some cool frames hung up real high. I've got like a little pulley system so you can get them down. This single crank is insane. It's very light. It's weird. It's painted. It's got forging marks on it. I don't know what's going on. It looks to me like a really old campy 151 BCD road crank. It's got like an extra washer like built into the pedal threads. It's very weird. It's very cool. It's very old. Hopefully somebody in the eBay land knows what it is and thinks it's cool and worth it. Because that's where that's going to go. I got more tools and more tools. More tools. Check this giant weird Park BT5. It's like a weird third hand tool that you can like tighten down. Like pinching your brake pads closed where you set your cable and stuff. I don't know. I got it. This is an old Campagnolo wrench that someone has ground the inside of it really open for some giant wing nutty size. It's only got one pin. I might see if old Eric Esterlund wants it. Eric Esterlund, who's doing winter frames forever, which are gorgeous. And he barely does that anymore. He's doing a lot of forging stuff. He's going to take a lot of old campy tools and carving them down into knives. So it still reads campy on the handle. And then there's like a blade or something. I don't know, maybe you could do something with this. I don't know. This is in the recycling bin in the truck. Some black edge, mountain bikey, fixed geary pedals. There's nothing wrong with them. Oh, I grabbed several of these. Maybe I'll pull them all out. I found one old chrome 15mm park wrench. It's cool. They put one old veneer caliper in their used tool bin. They had another one of these brand new in the box. They're saving for themselves. So I'm like, I'll grab this. I like old manual calipers. They look real accurate and stuff. Like it's like cool and stuff. Oh yeah, I got some derailleurs in their recycling. One of the recycling bins, like 3 other guys went through before me, and none of them dug hard enough. Oh, I found this in one of the tool bins everyone missed. It's a little ruler. California Bicycle Products Group, Sutherland's Phil Wood Co. Bicycle Research Lindcraft, some sort of promotional collaboration, and it's 0 through 15 millimeters and 6 inches. Just a little machinist ruler. It says Phil Wood on the back and stuff. So cool. I got this because it's cool. It's clearly new old stock. Cyclo, made in England. For old style bottom brackets, 32 for headset cups. Every brand and every one of these wrenches I've ever grabbed fits slightly different, and so I grab all of them. It is wild because some headsets fit slightly different. So you might find it was all sloppy and it's going to round out your nuts, your headset. You try 2 more. They're labeled 32, and one's way too big, and one's like just right, and one's too small. Bottom bracket cups are the same way. They all hook weird. I like having as many options as possible so I don't round them out. I got another one of these old little metal tire gauges. I don't know if it works. It's cool. I got a few of those. This is some weird little black spoke wrench. It's like offset spoke wrench. And sometimes I don't like twisting those stupid wrenches. Sometimes I do just want to come in from the side. Maybe this will be super cool. I can just come in from the side. This is cool. It's an old LD chainring pin tool. It's slightly bent. I can straighten it. One little whack with a hammer in the right spot. Get that high spot up and give it one little tap. Probably straighten it. It's cool. I don't know if I'll ever use it, but it's awesome. Another set of new old stock. They look maybe used. They're definitely used. And definitely missing a cap. Parts of old style dropout adjuster screws. One SR Leprod 26, might be an 8. No, it's 26.6 seat post. Looks to be in pretty good shape. I think I have a really nice 27.2, really long one that I grabbed a while ago, so I was planning on grabbing them to steal the top clamp out of for that. This one's nice enough. I'll wait to find a real scruffy one. Oh, mirror cycle mirror, very popular. A random piece of steel tube. I have no idea why. A single TA crank. It's 170. Ooh, the square tape looks like it's pressed on too hard to something too big, but it's nowhere near blown out. It's a little dinged and dented up around here, but I think I can get the threads cleaned up. It's TA, it's 170, it's free. I thought so. I couldn't remember if I grabbed one of these cyclo wrenches, then I'm getting 2 of these cyclo wrenches. This is just a piece of all thread with some nuts. This is how I shipped all my forks, because I could never find those little front plastic axle things that come with bikes and just buy them separately. So I bought a big old piece of all thread, so I grabbed this for the next fork I got to ship. A very bizarre Cyclo multi-tool. It's got numbers on the side, so it looks like it has everything inside. Oh, maybe this, comes up and off. There is number 2 and a flathead, little double-sided dude. Number 4, a couple of sockets. I think it's missing like most of the things it's probably supposed to have. Whatever, I don't know, it was cool. You always get lots of extra ones, those little dudes. And then it's got some tools here. How do you get them out, bro? It's got like a... what's this? It's got like a metal tire lever built in. That's sketchy. Looks like a number 5, but can fit those sockets on. It's a little ball. And a little plastic spoke wrench. I don't know. Probably I'll never use it. No one cares. One whole bag of plastic barrel adjusters. I don't remember what these are from. They're from something. Whatevs. I'm gonna put this in there. It's a campy 5mm Allen wrench with a little tool thing. I got $15 for the last one of these on eBay. I might sell it, or I might keep it because they're fun. Oh, I got one of these for reals. I didn't care. I have one that's like missing all the parts, and so it's trickier. But this is a Park chainline checker. You can like clamp this around your cassette cog in the back and slide this forward, and it should hit your rings just right. So you can know you're right in the middle of your cassette. Or you can probably clamp this on the chainring too and go back and make sure you're touching the middle of the cassette. But chainline's a pretty important thing. People don't take it seriously. More stuff, more stuff. Oh, maybe that's for that. Oh. I got this. It's a 14 made in France. It's probably a VAR or something, but it's like a crank bolt wrench. That's 14 millimeter style. So just stick it on there. That's cool. I got 3 of these. They are vintage VAR little side wrenches. 13, 14, 12, 13, or maybe that's 14, 15, 12, 13, and 10, 11. So I have like the park version of these for coming in and adjusting like old caliper brakes. You can grab the little nut and move the whole thing around. But I've never seen these VAR ones before. Super dope. I got a Bicycle Research 1516 cone wrench. I don't know, Bicycle Research is cool. A virtually brand new park fork truing thing. You need 2 of these, I only have 1, so now I have both. This is for truing disc brake rotors, which is a nightmare job that no one wants to do, but now I can if I want. God, speaking of which, I gotta go check my eBay. I'm watching some disc brake facing jigs that I gotta end any second. I'm the high bidder on them all, but who knows? I really want the crappy ISO one, which is what no one else wants. Here's a weird park, like star spoke thing. I think it's for like weird Maverick wheels. I don't have it. Now I do. I'll probably never use it. Here's a very bizarre tool. DT Swiss Wheels Road Race User's Manual Warranty. It is just a weird tapered L-shaped rod. No idea what it's for. I just remembered what that tube, I think, is a crown race setter, I believe. So you can thread your star nut onto here and put this over your inch and 1/8 steer tube and put this on so this holds this thing from getting all wonky, except for till it gets all wonky. So I do not know. And then you hammer this guy and get it in. I don't know how it works. I have a park one, it makes sense. The rest of the guts for this were in the bin, but I don't really care. They had a bunch of these. It's like new old stock Sun Tour shifters. It's got the cool chrome cover instead of the black. It's got the wing nut. I really just wanted this bolt and this wing nut. Here's a black piece of plastic. Oh, maybe this is for this. Like, aha, maybe? Yeah, so that holds it in place. I was like, I knew it needed something. So this keeps it from, oh, that sets your depth too. It holds it straight and then you hammer it down until that goes through. And then you're at the right depth. I don't know, it's cool. I feel like I have some of these, but, you know. And I got lots of weird little junk. Here are just some like derailleur pinch bolts. I don't know. Here's part of a Campy. I think it is a Campy crank bolt puller. Just missing the rest of it. Here's like a weird washer that I think is for that. Here's another weird washer I think is for that. A vintage cool like Modolo barrel adjuster. An old red anodized Preston Schrader valve adapter. You know, just some junk. Here's like one of those like old campy like bearing extractors you put in a hub and spread it out and pull it out. Everyone says they don't work at all. I've never tried one. I think this is the weird pin tool for doing campy cassette bodies. You gotta like hold all the bearings and pawls and stuff together while you slide it into the hub. And then you can like pull it out the last second, and here's impossible to do without that. A couple of more vintage campy front cable stops. I got several myself from the free box. So they have the screws, they're all chrome, they're all nice. If I can put together a couple sets, that'll be nice. Here's a very lightweight, very weird, very small French straddle cable hanger. I've never seen one before, it's cool. Got a couple parts from seat binders and that would match. I got one of those 6 to 8, I think. So you put your 6mm wrench in here, and then this side's an 8 for like your multi-tools and stuff. The other Sun Tour, little patent Sun Tour washer, and just this little guy. I like these little guys for quick releases on bikes. Sometimes I use them to put racks on, so you can like hook your little cable to this. Maybe a little old style pannier handlebar bag. But really I like them for doing Rinco on fenders. You cut the fender in half and make it detachable, so you just pull part of the back fender off, send the whole fender off to pack your bike all tight. They have the built-in D-ring. It's cool. Another weird old alloy, really nice barrel adjuster I've never seen before. And one little set of what appears to be new or very lightly used TA pinch bolts for their straddle for raid or racer brakes. Stuff is good to have. What have I not shown you yet? So this all came out of a weird bin in the trash. First thing I found was this Suntour ARX derailleur. So this is something like, somebody donated them a bin. They didn't think there's anything nice enough to bother digging through. This is a nice old ARX derailleur. Pretty long cage. The logo is clean. It's not scuffy at all. Unless it's like horrifically bent or something. This little pin's a little bit bent, but I think it is totally fine. And it's for friction. There's a good chance that this would be a great derailleur for someone's bike. And it's pretty clean. And then I found this XT derailleur, like 9-speed XT. Maybe it's 10-speed, this weird hanger thing. I don't know. Is there anything wrong with it? It's the pivot bolt lining up with the pulleys. More or less. I don't know. That's cool. There's no wear on the teeth. I don't know. I'd probably get 40 or 50 bucks for this dang thing. Maybe I'll save it for something crazy. Maybe this is the derailleur we need for Avery's bike. It's got mostly silver and black on this brand new Rivendell. I don't know. Then I found this in the bag. This is a Hooray Duo Part Eco. It is dirty. It is missing the little plastic dust cover they're all missing. But it looks... I don't know. The spring's like not wound up right. Maybe it's bent. Maybe it's broken. Yeah, where's the rest of that spring, bro? Might be bent, might be broken. It's got the little adapter thing for the back. I think this is what lets you go from Hooray derailleurs to Campy. I have 2 or 3 of these. I can probably put one really nice one together. I was thinking about it for the... I don't know, for something. They're an old French derailleur. They're cool. They're long. A lot of these came with like titanium bits and hardware. If I need it for a really long cage for my Allegro, I will, but I'll probably just use an old Campy derailleur I have sitting around. Yeah, it'll probably work fine. Another kid grabbed this. I'm like, oh, dude, that's a score. I'm so jealous. He's like, oh, I don't even want it. Give it back to me. It's too weird. It's too old. It is a bottom bracket shell mount dynamo. 6 volt, 3 watts. Very popular on touring bikes. But this is a very, like 80 or 90% clean and scuff-free with all the parts. Suntour Cyclone long cage derailleur. Someone put red alloy sealed cartridge bearing pulleys on at some point. This is pretty hot. The little guy. The logos aren't scruffy. There's no major wrecks. A little chain rub on the back. It's just all alloy, super light, really pretty. I'm into it, man. I'm into it. So this is the main stuff. Then we gotta go through the trash, which is even more exciting. We're gonna throw this away. Then they pulled it out. Then I'm like, dude, sell me this. I want it. And like, oh, someone, pre-cut it themselves to make it more like a Swift. Yeah, but it's an IDL. It's missing one rivet top. It's an old leather, pretty crusty IDL. It's hard. It's been cut down. I'm heavy. I'll probably destroy it kind of soonish. But it's cool. It's cool. I wish it wasn't cut down, honestly, but makes it cool. This is definitely the saddle that's going on my Lejeune. I have some really old crusty Brookses. That crusty build, but not my Lejeune, my Allegro. But look at this beat up ugly thing. They had a couple of other ugly leather saddles, but I don't need everything. Ugh. Here's a whole other what looks to be all complete in the box. It's used, so it's probably missing parts. One of these bike hook hanging things with the pulleys from the ceiling. I only feel like they only take it up 3 or 4 feet. So I might have to make my own shelf for it. Oh my god, what else is in here? You guys want to see all this crazy? Oh, they had another track Fort Crown. One of my customers just bought a bunch of stuff from me, was asking me about this. It's the old vintage Suntour touring housing. An entire box, like a box of new old stock Suntour. So this is from the shifter to your frame cable stops for your bar end shifters. And this is your derailleur. This customer was asking me about it if I ever came across it again. I need to go find his number and give him a call because I found this and I grabbed it just for him. I will put that in a little box in a bubble mailer envelope and mail it off. He'll be so happy. I think there's some other parts for this, but I didn't find them. This is I believe this is part of a headset press. It's got that worm drive down here and the regular screw here for the top of the press. And the bottom, I don't know. Do I need it? Is it going to sit in the way forever? Will I ever use it? I don't know. Maybe I can go to a hardware store, get some nuts for this, and use it for something else. I couldn't not get it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's one complete old Suntour heavy chrome steel Suntour GT derailleur with the clamp on. Somebody always needs one of these for old 70s bike with the clamp on. I really pulled it out to have it send it back to the shop because somebody's always walking, look at this, and all they have is a bunch of like beater 9-speed short cage road stuff. I'm like, no, guys need old derailleurs too. I forgot. So this is the bin of metal recycling because, another track crown, because they are crazy. And their eBay guy went through it and threw it all in there. Because he thinks he only wants high-end stuff. He wants to sell stuff that's worth his time on eBay, and that's crazy. It's not your money. It's all worth your time. He only wants to, make 70, 80, 100 bucks for stuff. There's a whole bunch of new old stock cassettes. This is the one I pulled out. This is a new old stock cassette. CSM 737. I think that makes this an 8 or 9-speed XT. The rest of it's all missing. A lot of guys only ride the easier gears and wear them out. And it's got the big alloy spider. Someone might want this. It's clearly labeled. You know exactly what it is. You can always use your lower rings if they're not worn out. I pulled it out. It'll put it on eBay. I think someone will want it. I grabbed one old Stronglight 3-arm crank. I used to have... Oh, that is funny. I didn't know that. It's got the other holes too. This could have gone on other cranks. I used to have a new old stock set of these that I wanted to save and use on a cool old Frenchy bike. And I could not find a ring to save my life. So I grabbed these just because I had to have these rings. The other ring's 3-arm only. It's got the bolts, the 40-hole inner. This would be hot. I would use this on a bike. I would definitely cut all these outer teeth off and make it a chain guard and a 1x40 tooth. But I don't have those cranks anymore, but now I have this one. I got the 3 bolts and I got the rings. Who knows, maybe someday. One of these cheesy bike stands that's everywhere that like bolts to your wall, then you can like hang it up out of the way. I got it for the shop. I'll put it up high someplace so I can set a frame or something on it. An ugly spot display for a bike I want to sell. So much. Oh, my hip's getting tight. So much junk. There's a whole bunch of these new old stock chrome 3-arm rings. They're probably not valuable. They're not labeled at all. I grabbed one. I'll put it on eBay and see if anyone cares. If I don't, go in the recycling. New old stock Dior XT. And a bunch of these headsets. I dug through here. I only saw the upper and lower cup, but I grabbed them. Maybe someone wants them for their scruffy headset. A big bolt, mountain bike, oversized wedge. I don't know. It's black. It's a bolt. It's got these top caps. These top caps and some of these old stems are steel. And when I make my own stems, I like to grab these and I can use the bolt and the wedge. And usually this top cap I'll weld right in. Here is a Royal Comp piece of brake arm. Oh, I saved it because it's got a really pretty chrome pinch bolt. Here's a good 27.2 black seat post. It is heavy. It's got the big dumb head, so it's a little cheaper and weirder. It's got a name. It says TAIHEL Compe. No idea. 27.2 with the worst case. I can use it as my dummy seat posts and frames. It's good to have stuff you don't actually want to use on builds. So I have stuff missing the head or broken parts. Just junks 27.2 seat posts sitting around so I can clamp them into frames. So I can clamp them in the stand and not, sell my 27.2 seat posts or use them on builds. Old chunks of seat posts are also good for shipping bikes. You could take this and cut it in half and cut it again. Have this sticking up out of the seat lug so the seat lug, and especially the point, doesn't get damaged in shipping. I always want to do that. There's a couple old French stems. There's a pivot. Pivots are known for the death stems, this big hollow window in the back. This does not have it. It is a cheapie. It kind of looks new old stock to me. Someone might want it. Pivot Frenchy, or maybe it's the right thing for my weird Allegro. It takes a French size. So So I've been sort of collecting some French stems. Here's a Suntour CX front derailleur. It's got a little bit of chain rub on both of the cages. But other than that, it is like rust-free and clean. The logo's still there. Someone wants this. I had to save it. I grabbed this rear hub. It is frozen solid. But I think it says like OMOS or something. Yeah. Like OMOS, like Campy ripoff. You know, I'm going to save it just for the really pretty cones and spacers. I'll pull all that out. Psycho. There was a matching Tiagra hub set. Which are ugly, cheap Tiagra. But like, it actually feels really good. No one wants it, no one cares. I don't know, I bought a new old stock one of these a while ago for a wheel set. The front is crunchy and gross, and the things are dead. But for the same thing, I'm going to take this front, and I'm going to pull the axle and cones out and use them for forks I ship. So I can just use the axle cones in a random quick release to space the fork out so it doesn't get crushed in shipping and damage the fork. So I love grabbing junk front hubs for that reason. They make those little plastic things. You can never find them for sale separately. Here's a strong seat post top. I don't know. I really like these strong seat posts, so I grabbed it. So much junk, dude. Junk, junk, junk. Oh, there was a Shimano bottom bracket in there. It's dead, but it had the nice metal cup. These things are $20 new. Grab that metal cup. I'm always getting bottom brackets. I have a cracked plastic cup or missing the metal cup. Here's just a dead part of an old Campy Nova Record front derailleur, but the bolt is really clean and nice, so I grabbed it just for that bolt. This, I think, is part of that headset tool. I think. There's another part that I forgot to go back and get. But also, I like the shape and this cone. I might use this for other stuff. I used to have a tool like this for reshaping lugs that I'd like ovalize or mess up when I was filing them too hard. Maybe this will be good for that. Maybe it won't. Maybe it's just scrap metal. I don't know. Cool, old, very lightweight alloy bottom bracket that threads all the way in. And then this has a lock ring on this side. Very bizarre. Very bizarre. It says Nada X on it by FAG. FAG is famous. They made a lot of plastic bottom brackets. No other stamping. I have no idea if it's English or Italian or... I have no idea what this will fit, if anything. But I don't feel any play. It might be totally usable. This is weird because it has some threads built into this lock ring. It's very weird. Maybe that's to start it in your bottom bracket shell. Yeah, you thread the other side in, then you thread this onto itself. I don't know, it was weird. It's cool, it's light, it's old. I grabbed this. It's a freewheel body with only a few freewheels, but it's an old Cyclo, made in France, missing some teeth. I don't know, it's old and weird in French. Maybe somebody on the internets will want it for parts. Maybe, maybe not. I put it up and see. A couple more BB spindles. Here is a Chromo 68 by 116, just Shimano. I think it's like the Shimano 600. And here's a later Shimano 600 tricolor. These are like brand new. The tricolor one might be used. It might be new old stock. These are worth $15. You can't really see the logos. Maybe we can clean it up. I think they're a 113. Yeah, a little bit smaller. Sometimes this stuff sells. Tricolor stuff always sells. One Campy lower headset cup. I believe it's Pista. It might be Grand Sport. I think it's Pista. Grab that. You can always sell Campy parts individually. I think I found both of these. So this is a Synchros made in Canada, English threaded, left hand cup. So it's a cup with a sealed bearing in there and a black alloy outer ring. I think I found the other one's gold. I think I threw it in here. Maybe we'll come across it. Here is a Shimano Japan Italian cup. I feel like I have a few of those. Here is a Campagnolo Italian cup. It's a little beater on the outside, but the bearings look good. It's alloy, so it's super record. Someone might want that, so I'm going to mangle theirs. Here's the other Synchros cup, no sealed bearing pushed in. I don't know, someone might want them, probably not. I was wasting my time. There was a bunch of new old stock, really nice chrome brazed on. So these are like stamped and then have the shift bosses brazed on and then they're chromed. New old stock, hooray, down tube, you know, shifter cable stops without the shifters. But they all have really nice bolts. The chrome is just so pretty. Here's some cheaper Simplexy ones. So I grabbed these Simplex shifters. They're all complete. I mean, this one's missing the bolt. We'll still have something else. Here is a set of springs that sure look like a bag of Mayfac springs to me. They could be Diacomp or some dumb, but they might be Mayfac. Pull them out and play with them. I spent $45 on some Mayfac springs, so I found some in the trash. That'd be hilarious. Here's a like not scruffy at all. Oh, it's broken. I see. It's an old Sante derailleur, but the pinch bolt is broken off and it's missing the barrel adjuster. But the pulleys are like brand new. The back. It's probably recycling. I might put it on eBay. Maybe somebody wants it for the pulleys or these back bolts. Another weird French Mil Remo stem. It does have the open hole death bolt, but I don't think that these ones were known for breaking. It's pretty cool. It's Frenchy, you know, it's got all the like little shapes and stuff. Here's some Shimano part of a derailleur. But it has like, I think it's a little stock. It's got brand new pulleys. Grab them just with the pulleys, man. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with ordering all this stuff that really doesn't matter. More hooray. This looks like a stem shifter to me. It looks like 22.2 clamp on Reg. Made in France stem shifter. Totally cool if you want a friction stem shifter on your old bike. Maybe I do. It's all brazed on and then chrome too. I don't know, sure is there. Here's a set of kind of mangled down tube shifters from Simplex. It definitely has a brand new French shift cables in it that probably aren't even mangled, and cool weird barrel adjusters. But otherwise, this is not round at all. I could re-round it, get bolted around a, you know, a 26.0 tube and whack it once with a hammer. Another set of old Simplexy shifters, little plastic wing nuts. Just cheap bike stuff, but they're cool. Some weird vintage seat post binder bolt. Prongs or something. Old and French. More hooray. The nice little bolts. More hooray. A couple old Spidell shifters. A weird Silka pump thing I've never seen before. So Silka. So it looks like, from the drawing, it wraps around your head tube if your head tube doesn't have a little pump peg. It's got a little pump peg built in. I don't know, it's kind of ugly and dumb. It's brand new in the package. It's cool. A couple more. This was in there. This is an NJS stamped English 7400 bottom bracket cup with bearings. This is NJS stamped Dura Ace bottom bracket cups with bearings. These aren't trash, these are worth real dough. Collector's old Kieran bikes. This is in there, and alloy. It might be a little rounded out on the top, maybe it's junk. But the wedge is good. Alloy wedge and alloy bolt for some vintagey Italian stem. Probably fits Cinelli. The wedge is worth something. Light. Oh, here's the other French pump peg. It's got a little leather washer, these little tiny, tiny, tiny little brass delicate threads. You can hear it leaking, but barely. This is cool, man. Wig nutty old man stuff no one cares about. Couple of Suntour and a Spidell skewer. I just got rid of all my extra skewers. I sold lots on eBay. Another Spidell. Got an old Ford Model A or Model T wrench. It says Ford on it. You know. This was in the recycling. Is it too worn? Is it dead? It is not. It's got some wear on it. Maybe I thought it was a freewheel thing. Maybe I saw something I'm not seeing. This is a nice, thick, 1/8 inch Suntour Japan track cog lock ring with an NJS stamp. I'm gonna ask $35 for this on eBay. I bet I'll get it. One dirty old crusty campy rear axle. I don't know. They're nice. This is a part of a Suntour shifters for like their self-ratcheting shifter, but honestly, I kind of thought that maybe I want just to bolt shifters too, so I don't lose the parts. I don't know. I could be totally crazy. That may or may not work at all. It's probably just recycling. I don't know. I did find one old Stronglight France dust cap. It's cool. Yes, it's a broken cup. Yes, I grabbed it. It's like all copper or brass. It says New Relic. Solid copper, Moscow Mule, hand wash, made in Canada. I don't know if this is old or cool at all. I don't even know if I care. It's just kind of cool, and I'll probably use it for a pen cup or something in the shop. I like to use glass cups, but they're so fragile. I'm afraid I'll knock them over. It might be good for holding all my, holding some of my acid brushes might go in here. Maybe this is a cool acid brush cup. Other than being slightly very broken. Could always just braze it up. One mangled XT right brake shift lever. I have a set of these missing the shifter. I wonder if I can... Oh, that's the only thing that's broken on it. Shifter doesn't work. But maybe it just needs some lube. I don't know. Maybe I can save this. Maybe it's for parts. Maybe somebody wants it for parts on the internets. I don't know. It's probably not worth anything. Here's some random old TA chainring bolts and some other weird, bizarre bolts. Oh, it says Chatterley adapter. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe it is. Oh, here's the other bag of campy front dropouts. Here's another old Simplex shifter. Yeah, it looks new old stock. This is one that clamps around your tube. A lot of the tubes would have just a single braze on one side for your shifter, and then this would clamp on for the rear. And that braze on located. I do not know why, but here it is, and when you need one, you need one. Here's the other XT cup. The old stock upper and lower XT cup, and none of the other stuff. I know we had a bunch of these. More hooray! Another campy tool, tool number 16. C Diagnostics, 10 plus 11, so 10 or 11 speed campy cassette body tool, probably. This is just a weird metal shim with a split in it. This looks a lot like my old lug vise shims. I grabbed it, maybe it'll work. There's a giant, like oversized, at least 1.25" Tongay top nut. 31/8 by 26 tooth. I don't know, I grabbed it. I like to have all the weird nuts sitting around as tools to play with. Here's an alloy cassette body cog of some sort. If I knew, it'd be worth money. The teeth look very much like old Sax Maillard, but it's alloy. It's little, I don't know. I accidentally grabbed one of these, or someone threw it in there. It's a weird Bendix wrench. 47/64 and 7/8. I'll never use that. Here's a broken campy cutter. It's got a crack in it, and it's got a big clamp around it. Maybe this still works. Maybe it keeps it from chattering. I don't know. It's a crown race cutter. I couldn't not grab it. I don't know. Most of this is recycling. I'm being very silly. A single lever blade from an old Suntour shifter. What am I thinking? It's just cool. Here's some wingnutty adapter kit of some kind for a water bottle holder. I have no idea where the rest of the parts are or how you actually use it. Maybe I can clamp it to a basket or a rack or something. A single Suntour down tube shift boss. So this is very cool if you want to do a one by. Sometimes you see the old lower ones that have the big hook for the cable that is hacksawed off, but this is not. This is like factory. That's worth its weight in gold. More hooray. A very weird alloy wrench. It's for some weird bottom bracket. Probably campy or the FAG or something. A single hooray clamp on for a single down tube shifter. So the doubles, that's cool. Sun Tour seat post binder bolt quick release. Some more cups. What else we got in here? We got another Shimano Italian cup. Cool. And another Shimano Italian cup. These might all be for one side though. If they were for both sides, that'd be interesting. So I have a bunch of Shimano bottom brackets, Italian. One cool French lock ring with the serrated edge at the bottom. These are always cool for weird stuff. Hyperglide cassette. I got 2 or 3 Hyperglide cassettes. I don't know why. I think it's fell in here. I got 2 or 3 Campy. I think there's one in the bag somewhere. These Campy ones came in 26 and 27 mil, I think. This looks like I have a couple of both. I have sold a few of those on eBay for 15 or 20 bucks. If you know what's what. A black Spidell quick release part. I don't know. A single Sun Tour crank bolt. God, I am a wing nut. This is definitely a new old stock Shimano cassette piece, but for which one, I don't know, maybe for that. A single black plastic Camping Yellow drive side cable stop with barrel adjuster. A single roller bearing, needle bearing headset retainer ring. Every once in a while I get a nice one of these and it's missing one of these bearings, so I grabbed this just for that spare bearing. A single nice Shimano dust cap for pedals. I think these are for the triangle pedals, I think. They're always missing them or scraped up. That's new old stock, so I might want it. I found these, and I grabbed them, I don't know why. They are red alloy, probably cassette spacers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. Maybe I'll make a cool cassette and swap those in someday. Maybe all sorts of wing nutty stuff. A chrome with no plastic spoke wrench. I don't know, it's cool because it's chrome. A couple of old Mayfac wrenches I have a zillion of. One other random Campy 13 tooth cog. I don't know what it is. Sun Tour bolts, a bunch of stuff I should not have grabbed. A really rusty, crusty Mayfac bolt. I shouldn't have grabbed it. And then some, oh god. Some, just axle spacers. Cool old axle spacers. It's gonna take me forever to put away. Here's a set of probably Shimano, probably Campy outer dust seal things. I don't know. But that is an hour and 15 minutes of my Sunday salvage hauls. But that is this haul. That's what I got. Now I gotta realize that half of this stuff should go in the recycling and the other half on my eBay bin, and some of it into my random hardware pieces, and some of it weird wing nutty stuff I gotta figure out what to do with. It looks like it's for a water bottle. I could probably bolt this through a basket or something. I don't know. It's cool. I wanted it shiny. It's shiny. That's what's important. It's pretty. And he said, I was hoping he wouldn't go over 100. I thought 100 was really fair. And he said, how about $100 for all this stuff? And I said, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking my max would be. But now that I see those tubes really might be Reynolds 531. Maybe it's just that steer tube. With all the bits in there, I think that's worth it. I'm gonna offer him 30. I'm gonna start at 25 because he'll probably want 50. I'm gonna start at 25 and offer him 25 for all those road tube sets. If he says 50, I might go up that high. My eBay has done $0 this week. It's very depressing. Well, like 30 or 40. My last couple of weeks were over 500 a week, which is a lot better. So can I even afford to spend that after spending thousands of dollars on frame builder parts and getting this new place to start paying rent on? Probably not. Am I gonna maybe try and ask? Definitely. If he'll give me all those kits for 25, I'd be real happy. If he said 50, I'd probably still be happy. I might buy all his mountain bike kits too. I don't even know. It might be good tubes. I definitely use a few of the tubes out of there to make some cool bikes. But anyways, this video has gone way too long. thanks for watching. And I'll start doing some videos from the new shop very soon. Very soon. I gotta do some woodworker videos. I gotta make some like rolling racks. There's no wall space. Some rolling racks to hold frames and wheels to get them all out of the way. I want to put up a bunch of plywood on into the cement wall, which is going to be a real pain in the butt. I have to drill holes in that cement and be able so I can make some tool boards. Eventually get some other stuff. There's one weird, just like plank against the wall. I might frame that in with like a half wall, so there's like a handrail on the top and a half wall, and then I can hang stuff on that. I don't know. Maybe we'll see what I come up with. This is going to take me hours to get all this shit put away. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Thanks for watching.